Imagine you have prepared hundreds of titles in a project. You are using the same font for all of them, but at the last moment the client comes and says,
"We didn't like this font, change it."
Going into each title one by one and changing the font is incredibly exhausting and time-consuming. Moreover, as the project grows, the task becomes even more complicated. While doing this a few times may not seem like a problem, as the project gets bigger, it turns into a real problem. Inside Premiere Pro, there is actually a feature that many people don't know about. Thanks to this feature, with just one move, you can change the font of all the texts. First, let's talk about the workspace. I created a few text items. I created the text like this. From the toolbox on the left, I select the type tool and type something here. I type demo. I set its placement, and in this way, I created these 4 texts the same way. To save time, I prepared them in advance like this. Looking at the texts, they say Adobe, Tutorial, Test 1 and Premiere. When you want to make a change in a project, you find this text later. You click on it. From the text, you select any font. For example, if you want to change it to Ubuntu, you select it. Then you move to the next one. You do the same. Again, you find Ubuntu and click on it. But at this point, as I said, if there are many text layers that need to be changed, things get a little complicated and difficult. The Replace Fonts in Projects feature in Premiere Pro makes this process easier, because without going through each one individually, you can see all the fonts used in the project in one window. You can see how many times each font appears and in which titles it is used, all right in front of you. In other words, this window gives you the chance to control all the fonts from a single place. When you open this panel, all the fonts you have used appear separately with numbers. This way, you not only see where the fonts are, but also notice which font has been used more dominantly. This list is especially useful in large projects because you can track fonts without losing them. In this example, the font was Times New Roman, and here it shows that Times New Roman was used in 4 texts, specifically the bold version. To change this font, all you need to do is simple. From the list, you select the font you want to change. For example, let's change it to Bebas. I click on it. The moment I press the OK button, all the titles where this font appears automatically change. In other words, with a single click, the font in hundreds of titles is updated at once. I press the OK button and you see the change below. I undo it. It looks too thin. I want it to be thicker. By clicking the arrow on the left, I can also select other members of the family. Here I select bold and click the OK button. As you can see, now it is not Times New Roman anymore. All my fonts have adapted to the new font type I selected. In short, the Replace Font in Projects feature is something everyone working with text in Premiere Pro should know about. Instead of wasting time going into each title one by one, you can change all the fonts in just a few seconds. This way, the work becomes both more organized and much more professional. That's all I have to say about this topic. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.